How likely is this proposed government of national unity, as it's being framed? How likely is it to take shape ultimately?
Right, Tom, this was quite a development that we got yesterday, and it was interesting to hear from the ANC that they are engaging with all parties, except that of the MK party. They said they have not received a response. But listen, this was the smaller portion of the ANC, the National Working Committee, that said that they are, having these discussions. Now it's really up to the bigger, the top brass, as we call it, of the ANC to make a decision, and these negotiations are starting today behind closed doors. And really the reason why we heard from the ANC about this is that they say, this is what the South African people voted for, especially if you take a look at those percentages of support. They say this is the most inclusive option. And it wouldn't be the first time for this country. It was also a government of national unity back in 1994 during Nelson Mandela's time. But the question, though, really is, can these parties that are very disparate in terms of their ideology come together? And will that really, form some sort of government that can actually get things done? And that is perhaps why we saw the reaction from the markets on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, talk us a little bit more around the market reaction to this. What are the concerns around market participants? What are the kind of the risk scenarios and the upside scenarios that market participants, investors may be thinking about when it comes to this?
Right. Well, the biggest question is, will these parties be able to actually work together? And you were mentioning the Democratic Alliance, Tom. We had the Democratic Alliance here earlier this week. They said that they will not work in a coalition with some of the leftist parties like the EFF and also the MK party. We also heard from South Africa's Communist Party saying that they will not work with the Democratic Alliance. So there's still clearly are a lot of roadblocks here in terms of getting all of these different parties on the same page. And perhaps that is why we saw some of the reaction in the markets. And so although the ANC is describing this as inclusive, the question really is, will they be able to get on the same page and get some broader policy decisions decided on? No one, that's anyone's guess. And it seems like the market is not convinced that that will happen, and potentially that they will have to give in to some of those more radical policies that the market was hoping not for. But the interesting thing, Tom, we did hear from one of the largest asset managers here in South Africa, that is 91, the CEO saying that potentially a government of national unity could be beneficial for the economy. So we'll wait to see whether or not other business leaders get on board with this, but the market's not quite convinced yet.